Hello folks, Jamie here again. Over the weekend there was the CPAC conference. This time it was held in Texas, go figure. Which kind of gets me because aren't they supposed to be, isn't these CPAC conferences supposed to be like a yearly thing, an annual thing? So far this is the second one they've had this year. And that's just messed up. And this is something that came across on my news feed, and CNN and MSNBC and a few others reported on it, and it's sad, it's funny, and it makes no freaking sense. And I had to enlarge and print this out, but a 7-point plan to restore Donald J. Trump in days, not years. This is what everybody, what the news outlets talked about the other day. It is just remarkably idiotic, and there's no way that this can happen. And I have to read this out because it's so ridiculous. It's called 7-Point Plan to Restore Donald J. Trump in Days, Not Years. 1. Reveal Achilles' heel. Pull back the curtain on the horror show that is today's Democratic Party. Watch Pelosi melt like the Wicked Witch of the West. See the Black Caucus and other key groups flip unexpectedly, and watch the tables turn. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 is witness a trusted conservative elected as Speaker of the House, and finally reveal suppressed results from existing investigations into election racketeering. There's racketeering within the election? Okay, continuing on. Correct official record. That's number 3. Reveal that Trump legitimately won the 2020 election, which we all know he didn't. Number 4. Speaker of the House drafts articles of impeachment for Biden-Harris. That won't happen anytime soon. Number 5. Citizen Donald J. Trump is placed into the line of presidential succession behind the vice president by electing him Speaker of the House. First of all, how the fuck is that going to happen? We had an election back in November. There is no election coming up until next year in 2020. Well, 2022. That's the next election, which is the midterm elections, where we elect our members of the House, and in some cases the Senate. Okay. So first of all, Trump would have, according to this, Trump would have to run for Congress when there is no election happening, and then get put as Speaker of the House, which isn't going to happen either. Plus, it isn't in the Constitution at all, and there is no legal precedence. Okay. Speaker of the House. This is number 6. Speaker of the House Donald J. Trump then calls for a vote to impeach, charge, and remove imposters Biden and Harris. Okay, still not going to happen. Number 7. This is the good one. Number 7. Duly impeached, charged, and removed Biden and Harris, whereby rendering all acts of said impostors while in office null and void and all of no effect. Then duly elected Donald J. Trump resumes his rightful place as U.S. President. Okay, this literally is nonsense, number 7. Just because, matter of fact, the whole card, this whole card that was handed out in CPAC to people at CPAC is fucking nuts anyways. Because there's, like I say, there's no way that this will happen. Either within the Constitution or legally. So it's a joke in itself. But at the bottom, at the very bottom of this card, it says, for more information on Trump in days, not years, visit. And they give a website. trumpcard.patriotsoar.com. Well, I went to that website, and you want to know something? It's not a website. It's a web address that is linked to a PDF copy of this guy. And this is the real crazy shit and nuts with stuff. Let me just find his name. The guy's name is Robert J. Antelis, or whatever the fuck his name is. I may have came across his profile on LinkedIn, doing a little bit of searching, but this is all crazy shit that the guy has written. It's like this guy is whining. It's like, okay, he wants there to be an investigation into Martin Luther King Jr., who was assassinated in 1968. And this is the whole crux of it, from what I can tell. Martin Luther King was number 1. Number 2 is the intended. He has intended, with a question mark, parentheses, crash of John F. Kennedy Jr.'s small plane back in '99. The guy was killed in a plane crash. The Kennedy family knows that. We all know that. John F. Kennedy Jr. didn't miraculously vanish from that plane crash, because his body was found. And he is buried. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But, number 3, and this is this whole thing about there being a secret satanic cult that's comprised of cannibals and so on, you know. But number 3, and this is something that's really crazy. A white Catholic heterosexual virgin named Mary, the Virgin Mary, sacrificed at the dawn of the space age. Really? 2 days after the moon launch and 2 days before the moon launch, he mentions a video on how the late Senator Ted Kennedy may have known something about the original, may be the original Zodiac killer. To be quite honest, I didn't even know that there was an original Zodiac killer. I thought there was just a Zodiac killer. This is all just conspiracy, nonsense, crazy fucking shit, okay? There is no... It's like the guy is trying to connect things that are completely unrelated, which most conspiracies do that, and most nut jobs do that too. But he also goes on with this whole diatribe of just nonsensical stuff that has no, literally has no factual evidence behind it. You know, I'm surprised that he didn't try and throw in the Challenger and Discovery and Little Green Men from Mars. I don't know, but the guy has a whack job. You know, it's just makes no sense whatsoever, and the sad part about it is that this dumbass, Robert, whatever his freaking name is most likely profiting from this bullshit. Think about that. By the sale of his books and so on and so forth, you know, he in one part of this whole thing, he mentions about how I have to read this. You will, and this is the whole thing about, and believe me, it's about Black Lives Matter, the Democrats, the Communist Party in China or Russia or something like that. I don't know. But this is a section, and it's just really not so freaking bullshit crap. But he says, you will learn the official narrative about the origins of this overnight success story. Black Lives Matter is fake news, and that it's a rebranding, in parentheses he has, a rebirth even, of the terrorist organization, the Black Liberation Army. That was back in the 60s, and yeah, there are some folks that still believe in that type of ideology that the Black Liberation Army put forth, which is also the church that Louis Farrakhan has, whatever it is. But he also mentions the Black Panthers, which actually no longer exists. He also mentions the Weather Underground, which, yes, that was a terrorist organization within our own country, and yeah, they were not, they were found, they were prosecuted, but this also goes along and says, you know, besides Weather Underground, as was Barack Hussein Obama, who was born into the political world in Chicago. Well, yeah, no, he was born in Hawaii, and he went to school in Chicago. On the couch of Bill Ayers and Brianna Dorman, co-founders of the Weather. Come on. But the guy's nuts. And if anybody comes across this shit, come on. Do your research. because it is a bunch of bullshit. But on another topic, and this has just been mentioned in the news, that the Democrats in Texas are planning on saying, fuck you, we're getting out of the state, and you do not have quorum to pass these voter suppression laws that you want to pass. So that's where we are with Texas, which means that things aren't getting any better, folks. And we shall see. Until next time, have a fun-filled day. And remember, if it sounds like bullshit, it most likely is. Bye.